Alright, how's it going, everyone? I just wanted to talk about how I fill in these empty spaces in a stone patio. This method I only use for gaps that are completely surrounded by other stones. And it is kind of a tedious method, and I don't really have a non-tedious method. So I carefully trace the perimeter, and I basically cut a stencil. I'll speed some of these sections of video up just so that this isn't super long and boring. This whole process took me about 25 minutes. Doing the other stones doesn't take as long. It's just when you're completely cutting out a shape that it becomes so time-consuming. Cut it out, and I honestly try to do it as close to the exact shape I'm going for, but I'm also trying to be careful not to cut my stone too small, because then, there's really no going back from there, and I have to find a new stone. I'll make some small adjustments. Marking the top of the fabric is important. I've definitely forgotten to do that and cut the reverse, the upside down version of the shape I need. And a lot of these stones only have one good side, so those stones were set aside, and hopefully I was able to use them later. But I try not to do that anymore. It can be a little tedious, but I find it's worth spending time on the stencil. It's easier to cut the stencil than it is to cut the stone. Alright, that's looking good. Now I'm tracing the stencil on a stone. I'll try to find one that's close to the size. I'm cutting a decent amount of waste on this one, which is unfortunate, but sometimes I only have so many stones to work with. Then I trace the lines dry, because this chalk I'm using, if I were to turn the water on right away, it would wash away all the lines I just drew. So a quick trace, and then I'll be turning the water on. I just got this Milwaukee battery demo saw with a 9-inch blade recently. It works surprisingly well. They're very expensive. It was about $1,000 with 2 batteries. It's been working well so far, but it just feels so flimsy and plasticky. We'll see how long it lasts. I've probably mostly been using it on pavers so far, but it's working well with the stone too. I've probably got about 20 or 30 hours on it so far of cutting time. I'm getting real wet. At least my feet and my shins. Sometimes when I'm watching this stuff, I'm like, well, it doesn't really matter if the joints are this tight and perfect or whatever, but that's the style I'm going for. I like it, and now since I started doing it, I feel like I don't want to go back to big, open, weird cut joints. I always try to naturalize the edges of my stones so that they don't look saw cut, and I'm naturalizing them generally with chisels, or if it's a thin stone or at a pointy corner, it's very high risk of breaking the stone, and I'll just use a hammer to kind of bang up the edges so that they look kind of less saw cut and a little more natural. So the stone, when I was done cutting it, it's a little big, but I'm mostly just going to chisel all that off. This is a Trowel and Holden chisel. I think it's only 1 inch wide. It's a hand set. I like it. It's my only really expensive chisel. That grabbo is handy for this stuff. I bought it thinking that it would work on a lot of paver slabs, but it doesn't work on most paver slabs. They're too porous, but stone, it works great on. Closer, I think I'm just going to make some tiny adjustments here. In this situation, you can always choose to shape the stone that's surrounding it as well. I didn't have much. Sometimes I just move the other stones around a little and adjust the stones around it, but I didn't want to change the joint sizes of the stones around it because I spent a lot of time on those. Alright, I think that was pretty much it. But still got to get it level. And with a stone like that, you don't really need a level to like get this level in the walkway because you can just see how it meets every stone around it. Alright, and that's the stone right there. And this is what I've got done so far in this project that I started 2 days ago. Hope you enjoyed it.